Prof, Teng, from a public policy perspective, as well as the strategic perspective, what strategies and programs should governments consider in designing food security policies?
Instead of giving specific policies, I think it's much easier for me to describe certain imperatives that must be in place as far as public policy goes, regarding food security. I think the first that governments must recognize is that they have to balance policies which keep farmers farming and then that keep consumer prices at a level that's acceptable. Okay? What do I mean by that? Now, the policies that keep farmers farming means that we need to ensure that at the farm gate, the prices allow farmers to have a decent profit and a decent livelihood. Otherwise, they cannot continue farming. Okay? And also included in these policies are appropriate, for example, uh, I would say enablers, say let's say crop insurance, for example, to make sure farmers, don't take all the risk in farming. Then at the at the consumer level, it's also important that there are policies in place where prices can be kept low enough for the general public to afford, okay, to actually, have their household food security. And this is quite a difficult balance, and different countries do it in different ways. For example, in some countries, they would have safety net measures for the poorer sectors of society to make sure they can afford, yeah, to buy food on a daily basis. So that's one point I wanted to make, this balance between farmers and consumers. The second, really, at the national level, is to balance between how much self-production a country wants to make versus how much it wants to import. Okay? And this balance is important to ensure stability of supply. It's like we saw during COVID, for example, that there were interruptions for temporary periods of imports coming in, okay? Which means that you have unstable supplies. And what did we see? Once the supplies are unstable, people panic. There's hoarding, supermarket shelves are cleaned up. Yeah. So maintaining this balance to ensure stability, in fact, is very important itself. And to do this, hopefully governments already have means to manage this instability. Okay? Either when it occurs, or even better still, to be able to anticipate this instability, which will help a lot. Yeah? Get all the logistics in place to make sure that in fact it doesn't occur at all. Okay? So that's the second point I want to make. The third point, I think, in terms of a policy and strategy perspective, is to ensure that a country at the national level has alliances in place with those countries or with those companies that exports food to itself. Okay, and in fact, Singapore has been quite a champion for this. In fact, our Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Chan, actually came out very strongly and said that supply chain continuity agreements are very key to maintaining this stability of supply. And he was able to convince other countries to come in and agree to these supply chain continuity agreements. Okay? In fact, it got to the stage where even the private sector jumped in to help. Like the classical, I think example that we all heard about was, let's say, Qantas, the Australian airline and Singapore Airlines, they're coming together and offering the airlift food from Australia to Singapore as part of this continuity arrangement to make sure that Singapore's shelves don't become empty of certain items, especially some of the vegetables and fruits that we import from Australia. So those would be the three aspects. Yeah.